In the rough and tumble world of modern politics, the competition for power and influence has given rise to various underhanded tactics. One of the most egregious and destructive among them is the use of smear campaigns and defamation, political weapons wielded to discredit opponents by spreading false stories. For those on the center-right of the political spectrum, these tactics are not just unethical, but they also strike at the heart of fair democratic processes. Smear campaigns have become an all-too-common tool for those seeking to undermine political rivals by planting seeds of doubt in the minds of the public, even when no evidence exists to support their claims. This deliberate act forces the victim to confront the impossible task of proving a negative, an inherently unfair and often futile exercise. This tactic isn't exclusive to any one side of the political aisle. It's a phenomenon seen across the spectrum. However, the center-right often bears the brunt of such attacks, being branded as reactionary, out of touch, or even dangerous when their values challenge the progressive narrative. This script explores smear campaigns and defamation from a center-right perspective, illustrating the moral, ethical, and societal implications of these tactics, while highlighting the importance of defending the truth. What is a smear campaign? At its core, a smear campaign is the deliberate act of spreading false, misleading, or exaggerated information to damage an individual's reputation. In politics, these campaigns are designed to discredit an opponent and create public doubt about their character, actions, or integrity. The goal is not to engage in meaningful debate or critique policy, but rather to undermine the opponent by fabricating stories or manipulating facts in ways that distort the truth. For those on the center-right, this kind of political manipulation is especially frustrating because it shifts attention away from real issues. Voters are left debating personality flaws rather than policies, which dilutes the focus on meaningful governance. The right often champions personal responsibility, limited government, and individual liberty. But when the conversation turns to character assassinations, it distracts from the policy debates that should drive elections and public discourse. Defamation and proving a negative. A crucial aspect of smear campaigns is the burden placed on the target to prove a negative, to disprove a fabricated claim. In the legal sense, defamation refers to the act of making false statements that harm someone's reputation. It's challenging to fight defamation because while the damage can be instant, the correction is slow and often ineffective. The phrase "a lie can travel halfway around the world while the truth is still putting on its shoes" encapsulates this problem. In politics, once a damaging false story is spread, the opponent is thrust into the difficult position of proving that the event never happened. The human brain is wired to accept certain truths after hearing them repeatedly, even if they're false. This psychological phenomenon, known as the illusory truth effect, makes it even more difficult for political figures to clear their names once the public narrative has taken root. A classic example of this tactic can be found in election cycles where baseless claims about a candidate's past are made without any supporting evidence. The goal is not to present legitimate accusations, but to create a cloud of suspicion. Even if the target can successfully refute the claim, the damage to their reputation may already be done. Real-world examples of smear campaigns. Smear campaigns have been a fixture in US politics for generations. In the 20th century, figures like Joseph McCarthy engaged in widespread defamation by accusing countless individuals of being communists or communist sympathizers without evidence. While McCarthy eventually fell from grace, the careers and lives of many individuals were ruined by the false accusations. In more recent years, the rise of social media and digital platforms has made it even easier to launch smear campaigns. During the 2016 US presidential election, both major candidates, Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, were subjected to an unprecedented number of personal attacks and defamatory claims. However, the nature of these campaigns is often more damaging to center-right candidates, who are framed as hostile to progress or as elitist in their defense of traditional values. The challenge is that smear campaigns often push back against core conservative values like personal integrity, responsibility, and accountability. By creating false narratives that undermine these traits, smear campaigns attempt to erode public trust in center-right candidates and their platform, thereby weakening their political influence. The media plays a crucial role in amplifying smear campaigns, especially when it comes to mainstream news outlets that lean ideologically. The center has long criticized many of these outlets for disproportionately targeting conservative figures and giving more attention to unverified claims that harm them, while often downplaying or ignoring similar attacks on left-leaning politicians. This bias, real or perceived, has led to the rise of alternative media platforms and news sources that cater to a more conservative audience. These platforms serve as a counterbalance to mainstream media narratives, but they also highlight how polarized the media landscape has become. When stories are designed to fit a particular narrative, whether from the left or the right, the truth often becomes secondary to maintaining ideological consistency. From a center-right viewpoint, this selective attention is deeply problematic because it distorts public perception. Smear campaigns, once picked up by the media, take on a life of their own. The constant barrage of negative stories creates a perception of guilt by association, even when no real evidence exists. For conservative and libertarian-minded voters, this not only creates distrust in the media, but also erodes faith in democratic processes. Defamation and legal recourse. Is it enough? In the legal world, defamation is addressed through lawsuits. A person whose reputation has been harmed by false statements can sue for damages. However, in the political arena, legal action is rarely enough to undo the damage caused by a smear campaign. Court cases take time, and in the fast-paced world of elections, a candidate may lose their race long before a judgment is rendered. Additionally, US defamation law sets a high bar for public figures, who must prove not only that the statements made about them were false, but also that they were made with actual malice, meaning the person who made the statement knew it was false or acted with reckless disregard for the truth. This standard makes it difficult for political figures to win defamation cases, even when they've been unfairly attacked. This creates a situation where bad actors can engage in smear tactics with little fear of repercussions. Defamation laws offer limited protection, and the court of public opinion often delivers its verdict long before a court of law does. Why smear campaigns harm democracy. Beyond the immediate damage to individual reputations, smear campaigns have broader implications for democracy. When the focus shifts from policy debates to personal attacks, the public becomes less informed about the issues that matter. Voters are swayed by emotions rather than reason, and this undermines the democratic process. For the center-right, which often emphasizes individual accountability, rule of law, and limited government, the rise of smear campaigns is particularly concerning. It not only distorts the electoral process, but also weakens the principles of a free and fair society. When the political discourse is dominated by mudslinging and character assassination, it becomes difficult to have meaningful discussions about the role of government, economic policy, or national security. Moreover, smear campaigns contribute to polarization. Instead of finding common ground, politicians and voters alike retreat into their ideological corners, convinced that the other side is not just wrong, but morally bankrupt. This makes it nearly impossible to build the bipartisan consensus necessary for good governance. How to combat smear campaigns and defamation. Addressing the issue of smear campaigns and defamation requires a multifaceted approach. From a center-right perspective, the solution lies in promoting accountability, transparency, and truth in political discourse. First, media responsibility. The media must be held accountable for verifying information before amplifying it. News outlets should adhere to strict journalistic standards and avoid reporting unsubstantiated claims. Second, fact-checking initiatives. Fact-checking organizations play a crucial role in debunking false claims. However, these organizations must maintain political neutrality to ensure credibility across the spectrum. Issues today stem from the fact that most fact-checking organizations are unfairly biased to the left, adding in smear campaigns against Republican Party members. Third, civic education. Voters need to be educated on how to critically assess political information. Encouraging skepticism of unverified claims and promoting a deeper understanding of the political process can help voters make informed decisions. Fourth, legal reform. While defamation laws already exist, there may be a need for legal reforms that provide quicker recourse for individuals targeted by smear campaigns during elections. Fast-track defamation cases could prevent false claims from derailing campaigns. Conclusion: defending the truth in politics. For those on the center-right, smear campaigns and defamation are not just political tactics. They are an assault on the values of integrity, responsibility, and personal accountability. These tactics undermine the democratic process by shifting the focus away from policy and turning elections into character assassination contests. By recognizing the danger of smear campaigns, promoting media accountability, and ensuring that legal systems provide adequate recourse, we can defend the truth and ensure that voters are making informed decisions based on facts, not fabrications. The center-right's commitment to protecting democratic values must include a firm stand against the corrosive effects of false political attacks, ensuring that future elections are won on the strength of ideas, not the weakness of deceit.
Remember to like and subscribe for more video content. Sapiens quae vigilat.